The cold metal snapped around his wrists before he could even understand what was happening, and in that single moment, the world he had been trying so hard to rebuild collapsed again. People gathered, phones lifted, whispers spreading like wildfire as the police pushed him against the car, treating him like he was already guilty. His tired eyes held more fear than anger, the kind of fear that comes from someone who has already lost too much and knows he can't afford to lose anything else. If you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because stories like this deserve to be heard. He had spent years trying to escape his past, working long hours, staying quiet, avoiding trouble. But one misunderstanding, one wrong place at the wrong time, and everything slipped out of his control. No one listened as he tried to explain. To them, he was just another suspect, another story that fit too easily into their assumptions. The weight of judgment pressed down on him harder than the cuffs around his wrists. Then something shifted. A call was made, a name was mentioned, and suddenly the same officers who had treated him like nothing began to hesitate. The realization spread across their faces like a slow, uncomfortable truth. His brother wasn't just anyone, he was someone powerful, respected, someone whose voice carried weight. Before the ending, I have a small request. Comment "Justice matters" if you believe people should be treated fairly, no matter who they are. But as the cuffs came off, something deeper lingered. It wasn't relief, it was pain. Because respect should never come from who you know, but from who you are. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share, because maybe, together, we can remind the world that dignity should never depend on status. The moment the cuffs were removed, the air around him changed, but not in the way anyone expected. The crowd that had once watched with curiosity now stood in awkward silence, their eyes shifting, their whispers fading into guilt. The officers avoided looking directly at him, as if the truth they had just discovered was too heavy to face. Yet for him, nothing had really changed. The sting of humiliation, the weight of being judged without being heard, still clung to him like a shadow he couldn't shake. He rubbed his wrists slowly, not out of pain from the metal, but from the deeper ache within. It wasn't anger that filled him, it was disappointment. Disappointment in a world where a person's worth could change in seconds, not because of truth, but because of power. Just moments ago, he was invisible, dismissed, reduced to assumptions. Now, suddenly, he mattered. And that realization hurt more than the arrest itself. His brother's name had opened a door, but it also exposed something broken. He looked around at the same people who now showed him respect and wondered how many others never got that chance, how many stayed unheard simply because no powerful name stood behind them. He walked away quietly, not as a man saved, but as someone who had seen the truth too clearly to ignore. And deep inside, he made a promise not to rely on his brother's name, but to become a voice for those who didn't have one.